Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome to today's book review. This is Pokemon Crochet. Bring your favourite Pokemon to life with 20 cute crochet patterns. Now this one is by Sabrina Summers. So come on, let's go and see what this book has hiding in these pages for us today. So let's get started by turning it over and finding out how much it's going to cost us. Now this book was published by David and Childs. In the UK you will be paying $14.99. In the US it's $19.99. Oh. Right, so let's get straight into the book. Now this was published in 2021. But it does have a trademark that covers it from 1995 to 2021. Okay, so I can't really show you too much in the book. I will show you as much as I can without being too naughty. Right, so we've got a lot of information on this side about the publishers and other bits and pieces like that. And then on this side we have got our introduction, our tools and materials, techniques, how to read the patterns, basic crochet stitches, special techniques, making up, projects, and then we have them listed here. And so it's set up in difficulty levels. So you've got your beginner, your easy, and your intermediates. Now I'm not going to tell you the names of them because I probably won't be able to pronounce half of them, but I'll give it a go when I get to them. Right, so our first section here, let's try and get this more in shot, is our introduction, and it's telling us all about the writer of the book, which is Sabrina Summers. She actually lives in Amsterdam in the Netherlands with her husband, a son, a daughter and some cats. She started crocheting back in 2024 and her first book that was given to her was an amigurumi. Now it then moves on to the skill levels, and again it lists which Pokemon for which level. Right, now our next page up is tools and materials, where they talk about the crochet hooks, the fact that you will be needing a felt for this one, some stuffing, metal, wire and pipe cleaners. Now these patterns are designed to be put on a shelf and not played with. Here in the UK, if our products contain wire, glue or anything like that, any extras, then all of that has to be tested unless it's marked as display purpose only. So anything that I make from here, if I'm using a wire, felt or anything that can't be tested, has to be labelled as such. Right, so we also carry on. There's a brush. I wonder which one should be brushing out. Pins, scissors, a yarn needle, a cotton yarn and stitch markers. Now in the patterns she has specified the type of yarn that she used. She likes to work with cotton yarn because it makes the crochet work look tight and neat. You can use any type of yarn or wool that you feel comfortable with. For the fluffy parts like flames, it's better to use an acrylic yarn as it unravels more easily and can look more effective. She also includes stitch markers in the list of things that you will need. Now this book is brilliant because for me it is written in a US terminology. Alright, I'm also going to pop up on screen now something that I made for a different video that shows you how the patterns are written out. Okay, so by me doing that, it means that I'm not cheekily showing you too much. Alright, now as I said, this book is written in US terms, but it does also have the UK variation to the side. So if you prefer to work in UK terms, you will be able to translate it quite easily. There is a section also on how to read the patterns, and then we move on to the basic stitches explained, and they're showing you here how to do a magic ring. I prefer the double magic ring method myself when it's when working amigurumi, but it is very similar to this one. Right, then we move on to how to do chains, how to single crochet, slip stitch, increase, which is 2 in the same stitch, decrease while working in rounds, tools and materials, so that's also decreasing while crocheting in the rounds, and double crochet. I don't quite know where that's being used, it wasn't in the pattern that I've tried. Half double crochets and treble crochets. Then we've got crochet in the front or the back loops, special techniques, which is binding off, colour switching, and starting around with a chain. Then we've got closing a piece, crocheting 2 parts together, embroidery, sewing 2 pieces together, and then we move on to our actual patterns. Now this one here is Gengar, G-E-N-G-E-A-R. It gives you here the special colours, so you get these dots at the top that are the official colours that you can try and match up with what you've got in your kit, but don't panic. It also comes in and tells you a bit of information about, I'm not sure if, yes, that is about how big the item will be if you use the same materials and hook size as her, and your tension's pretty much the same. So for this one, it's Ghost Poison, it's weights. Okay, no, that is to do with, that first section's got to be to do with the actual creature itself. The height here is 1.5 meters or 4'11". There is no way your amigurumi is going to be that big. No, we've got a finished size down here, which is 5 inches or 13 centimeters. Now, it says here that she's using a crochet hook, which is a 2.5, and the yarn that she's using is Lana Grossa cotton, okay, and it's number 74, which is the number colour. Okay, now she used 90 grams of the purple because he is pretty much all the same colour. Then we've got fibre fill, red, black and white felt, thin black yarn. She used the Rocco Essentials Crochet 12 for that. And there's also a template on the page for your felted sections that you can trace over, and then of course transfer that to the felt that you will be using to sew on. Then we have all the section here which I'm covering, which is how to do the work, and at the bottom it also shows you all of the sections and all of the shapes that you will have made. Then moving on to the next page, we've got more images down the bottom. Okay, some front and back images of the creature, and then a section on assembly, so it tells you where you're going to be sewing each section on that you have made. Okay, so it's a good idea to read that and mark those stitches as you're working the body up. That's something I've learned after I've made one of these that I should have done. And then also explains where to put all the felted sections as well. Now I'm going to now jump through onto the next creature, but I'm only going to be showing you its main page from this point on, and not really explaining anything more than what size it will be. Okay, so this is Jigglypuff. I know how to say this one. Now the finished size for this one is approximately a 4 1/4 inches or 11 centimeters high. It's really, really cute. The write up and directions and everything is exactly the same as the previous one that I showed you. Now this is an easy pattern. Project number 3 is wool buffets. Again, this one measures in at 6 inches or 15 centimeters. And this is also an easy pattern. The next one is Snorlax. I love this one. Its finished size is 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters high. Now this one is still an easy pattern, but to be honest, I'm thinking it's a little bit harder because you've got the extra sections that you need to pop on here. So these are going to be quite fiddly. So the hands and the toes are going to be fiddly. Alright. Okay, here we go. Oh, what have I done here? I've gone too far. The next one is Pikachu. Sorry, I'm not keen on this version of Pikachu at all. But he's going to come in at 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters tall. Don't panic, there is another one a bit further on. It's not Pikachu, it's called something else. I think it's the upgrade. Right, but then we move on to Charmander. Now Charmander is an intermediate pattern that will finish up hopefully around 6.25 inches or 16 centimeters. Then we move on to Dragonite. Now this one again is an intermediate pattern and its finished size is approximately 7 inches or 18 centimeters high. I think this one also contains wire. Okay. And then we go on to Eevee. Look at the fluffiness of Eevee. And now she will measure in at 6.25 inches or 16 centimeters high. She's going to be a little bit harder to do because of the floofiness around the neck, but not as annoyingly floofy as her upgrade. Where is it? Oh no, I've skipped a page again. Now this is a Flare-On, and she will measure in at 7 inches or 18 centimeters high. Oh. The next one up is Maweth, or however it's said. Now this one should measure in at 6.5 inches or 16 centimeters high. Now I've got a cheeky smile because if you've because if you've watched Whips Bits and Chat 172, I actually showed you my version of this one nearly complete. Yeah, I've recorded this slap bang straight after, so here is my one nearly complete. Okay, now I've had a lot of fun with this one, and I will put a link to that original video up so that of course you can find out all the extra details and the changes that were made, and I also will speak about it the following week as well. So I will put both of those in the little I button up here so you can find out all the details and see him completed. Now mine measures in at, from the tippy top of his head to the bottom of his toes, mine comes in at approximately 8.5 inches or 22 centimeters. Now I'm using a completely different yarn to her, so I really do think that the yarn I've used is a lot thicker. I've still done mine on a 2.5mm crochet hook, mind, but the one in the book states it's 6.25 inches or 16 centimeters. So yeah, mine's a bit bigger. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? Alright, so let's move on to the next one. Now this is a Pikachu. Looks a little bit better than the last one. Now this one comes in at 6.5 inches or 17 centimeters high. Okay, and next up is Psyduck. I was really hoping she was going to pick Side Dug for me. I should explain, I set my daughter a challenge and asked her to pick out a pattern out of the book, and that's the one she picked by not paying attention. Right, so that's Side Dug, and he is 5 inches or 13 centimetres tall. Squirtle is up next, and this is again an intermediate pattern which will finish up at 5.5 inches or 14 centimetres tall. Okay, Bulbzar. Now this one, once finished, is 14 inches by or 11 centimetres high. Doesn't actually tell you the width of it though, which is a shame because he is actually laying down. So he could be a lot longer than he is taller. Guaranteed he's going to be. Okay. Now we've got Charizard. Now Charizard will finish up at around 7.5 inches or 19 centimetres high. Right, now there is a lot more that you are going to need with this one than what you have with previous. But it's really nice that she actually says how many grams of each you're going to need if you're using the same yarn as her. As I found out, I'd used 100 grams where she'd stated 70, so I knew that my guide was going to be bigger than hers. Alright, and also with that one, that last one, you do brush out the tail as well. Now this is Jolton, or however it's said. The finished size on this one is 7 inches or 18 centimetres high. I'm starting to lose the light. Alright, next one up is Lapras, I think. That's how it's said. Right, we've got 16.25 inches or 16 centimetres high. Did they steal the idea of this from Nessie, do you think? Right, then we got Magikarp. That was the one I really didn't want her to pick. Now this one comes in at 6.5 inches or 7 centimetres tall, and this is intermediate. That's definitely an intermediate. All that sewing, no thank you. Then we have Vaporeon. And Vaporeon is 7 inches or 18 centimetres high, but super duper long tail. Super duper cute as well. Oh. And the last one up is a Vulpix, and Vulpix will measure in at 6.25 inches or 16 centimetres high. Right, and that is it. That is the patterns within this Pokemon book. Now, as I said earlier, it will cost you $14.99 in the UK. In the US, it's $19.99, and it was published by Charles and David and Charles. I will put all of the details in the description box down below as to the who published it. And of course where you may be able to find the book. Now I can only do the UK searches, so if you have found this in your country and you'd like to share the information, please pop that in the comment section down below, and I will move that over to the description box, and I'll even add your name if you want. So that is pretty much it for today. What do you think? Is this a book that would end up on your bookshelf, or is this one that you would borrow multiple times from the library? I'm running out of room for books, so I've made one from it now. I know it's a lovely book to work from, but I've got no home for my Pokemon to go to. So for me, I'm going to be taking this one back to the library, and if I ever get any grandkids that want Pokemon, I'll go and buy the book and make them. So as I said, would this one make it to your bookshelf, or would you borrow it from the library, or would you leave it where it is? Right, that is it for me for today. I will see you all really soon, and please remember, stay chilled, stay happy, and keep crafting. Goodbye everybody.